Chapter 12, Leadership in the Future, Preparing Your Child for Adulthood. This chapter is dedicated to the long-term perspective. We'll explore how developed leadership competencies will help your child not only in their career, but in all aspects of their life. We'll discuss in detail the importance of adaptability, the ability to be flexible in an ever-changing world. And of course, we'll inspire you with examples of people whose success stories demonstrate how qualities instilled in childhood influence an entire lifetime. Leadership is often associated with managerial positions or influencing a large number of people. However, in reality, it's much broader. The competencies you help your child develop are the foundation for their overall success and well-being at any age and in any sphere. These qualities will serve them far longer than school knowledge or specific skills. The impact on career. In the modern world, employers aren't just looking for specialists with diplomas. They're seeking people capable of solving complex problems, working in teams, taking initiative, and adapting quickly. Decision-making is necessary in any profession. Leaders value employees who aren't afraid to take responsibility for their actions and for the results of their work. For example, a future engineer who learned responsibility for their school project as a child is more likely to independently make important technical decisions and see them through. The ability to clearly express thoughts, actively listen to colleagues and clients, negotiate, and resolve conflicts is a key success factor in any field, from sales to medicine. A programmer who can explain complex ideas in simple terms will be much more valuable to a team. The job market constantly demands new ideas and approaches. An employee capable of proposing unconventional solutions and not afraid to implement them will always be in demand. For example, a marketing specialist who, as a child, invented unusual uses for ordinary objects will be able to generate unique advertising campaigns. Regardless of the position, most modern tasks are carried out within projects. An individual who can plan, organize work, delegate tasks, and monitor their completion becomes indispensable. The impact on personal life and relationships. Leadership qualities are just as, if not more, important for building harmonious personal relationships and a general sense of happiness. A self-confident person makes friends more easily, builds strong romantic relationships, isn't afraid to express their opinion, and sets boundaries. They don't depend on external approval and can be themselves. This is the foundation for healthy self-esteem and psychological well-being. The ability to understand one's own emotions and the emotions of others is the foundation for deep and trusting relationships. An individual with developed empathy knows how to listen, empathize, resolve conflicts peacefully, and build relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. They become a reliable friend, a loving partner, and a caring family member. Leadership in personal life manifests as the readiness to take responsibility for one's decisions, actions, and their consequences. This applies to choosing a partner, starting a family, financial well-being, and personal development. A person who doesn't shift blame onto others but is willing to answer for their choices will build more mature and stronger relationships. Leadership qualities foster continuous self-development. A person with such qualities strives to learn new things, challenge themselves, set ambitious goals, and achieve them, leading to a sense of a full life and inner satisfaction. This isn't just a path to external success, but a path to self-realization and a deep understanding of one's place in the world. By nurturing leadership qualities in your child, you're giving them a set of powerful tools that will help them not only succeed professionally, but also build a happy personal life, be a reliable friend, a responsible citizen, and a well-rounded, self-sufficient individual. Adaptability. The most valuable quality in a changing world. The world our children live in is constantly changing. Technologies evolve, some professions disappear while others emerge, and social norms shift. In these conditions, the most valuable quality for anyone becomes adaptability, the ability to be flexible, adjust quickly to new circumstances, and act effectively in unpredictable situations. Leaders don't just follow changes, they anticipate them, embrace them, and use them as opportunities for growth. How to foster adaptability in your child. Encourage diverse experiences. Offer your child opportunities to try various activities, sports, creative pursuits, new hobbies, travel. Each new experience teaches them to adapt to new rules, people, and circumstances. Teach flexibility in planning. Allow plans to change. If you planned a trip to the park but it rains, don't get upset. Instead, brainstorm alternatives together. Rain changed our plans. What can we do instead that would be fun? This teaches your child not to fixate on just one option. Encourage games with uncertainty. Board games where rules can change mid-game or games with elements of chance teach your child to react quickly to new conditions. Encourage them to invent new rules for familiar games. Develop critical thinking. Teach your child to analyze information, ask questions, and not accept everything at face value. In a world where information is constantly updated, it's vital to differentiate facts from opinions and independently assess situations. Teach them to learn from mistakes and setbacks. Every mistake is an opportunity for learning and adjustment. Instead of scolding for errors, help your child analyze what went wrong and how they could act differently next time. This builds the ability for rapid reevaluation. Foster independence in decision-making. The more often a child makes their own decisions and faces their consequences, both positive and negative, the more adaptable they become to unpredictability. They learn to trust their intuition and their ability to find a way out. Stories of success. How upbringing shapes great leaders. Inspiration often comes from real stories. Examples of people who achieved outstanding success demonstrate how qualities instilled in childhood and parental influence can determine an entire life path. These stories confirm that leadership is not luck, but the result of purposeful development and proper support. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, had a journey full of ups and downs, but his capacity for innovative thinking, decisiveness, and ability to inspire were undeniable. Jobs grew up in a simple family that supported his unconventional interests. His adoptive parents, Clara and Paul Jobs, didn't pressure him into a specific path, but actively encouraged his curiosity. His father, a mechanic, taught Steve how to work with his hands, understand electronics, and appreciate attention to detail and quality craftsmanship. From an early age, Steve displayed independent thinking and a willingness to go against the grain. He didn't always get good grades in school, but he always sought to understand how things worked, asked many questions, and wasn't afraid to challenge others' opinions. This trait, perhaps perceived as rebelliousness in childhood, later became his greatest strength. He wasn't afraid to say no to conventional norms and to believe in his own vision, even when no one else did. His parents didn't suppress this trait. Rather, they gave it space to develop. This later allowed him to create products that changed the world. Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai, the Pakistani activist, became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate for her fight for girls' right to education. Her story is an example of incredible resilience, courage, and strength of spirit. Malala's upbringing was deeply imbued with the values of education and justice. Her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, himself a teacher and school founder, encouraged her from an early age to express her thoughts and not be afraid to stand up for the truth. He often took her to meetings with local elders, where Malala could listen to discussions and even voice her opinion. From childhood, Malala learned communication and argumentation by observing her father, who was an orator. She saw him fight for education, and this shaped in her a deep sense of responsibility for her community. When the Taliban banned girls from attending school, Malala wasn't intimidated. Her parents not only didn't suppress her desire to speak out about it, but also supported her, understanding the risks. This parental support gave her the confidence and courage to continue her struggle, even after an assassination attempt on her life. Her example shows how parental belief in values and readiness to support a child's aspirations shape an individual capable of changing the world. Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, became one of the most influential technology leaders. His success is largely due to his unconventional thinking, persistence, and willingness to take enormous risks. Mark's parents, Edward, a dentist, and Karen, a psychiatrist, created an environment at home that fostered his interests. They noticed his fascination with computers and programming early on and encouraged it in every way possible. His father even hired a programming tutor when Mark was 11. Instead of imposing a traditional path, his parents gave Mark the freedom to explore and create. This allowed him to develop creativity and initiative. He wasn't afraid to experiment and break rules. When he decided to drop out of Harvard to fully dedicate himself to Facebook, it was a bold decision that many might not have understood. However, his parents supported him, trusting his choice and seeing his passion. This is an example of how trust and support at key moments allow a child to follow their vision, even if it seems unconventional. His story emphasizes that developing leadership qualities requires not only fostering talents but also a willingness to accept a child's unconventional decisions. These stories confirm that leadership doesn't arise out of nowhere. It's formed within the family, under the influence of parents who create an environment for development, encourage initiative, teach how to cope with difficulties, and believe in their child's unique potential. Your contribution to this process is invaluable and will be the most important legacy you can leave your child.